special time here on Smoking with the Blend, hanging out with the boss, the guy who runs this place. We're at Davidoff of Geneva, inside the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, inside the Guitar Hotel. Partner, Eric Douglas. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for opening up the doors. This is an unbelievable place you got here.
Thank you. Very proud of it. Very proud of it. It's been doing really well. I mean, honestly, COVID was a little bit of a kick.
Sure.
But since we reopened and the Hard Rock, they kind of instituted that safe and sound guidelines for making sure that everyone's safe here at the casino, we've been kicking butt, man. It's been great. It's really been great. We're grateful.
We're gonna get into this absolute shrine to cigar and drink and spirits in a little bit, but I want to get talking about you because a long time ago, someone told me something that always stuck to me. If you want to be successful, you talk to successful people. And you, my friend, very humble, you have got a myriad of businesses, nightclubs, restaurants, insurance. What is your sort of mechanism? What when you see a business, when you see something, what drives you to keep doing this? Because with all this success that you've had going on.
Yeah, well, thank you. No, thanks for that. For me, it's the art of building something from nothing that then you later see people enjoy. I mean, that's really what it's for me at the end of the day. I mean, for some people, it's how can I generate the biggest bottom line? How can I, make myself a little bit more well-known? For me, it's how do you really build something and really truly create something that people talk about, people bring their friends to, their family to, whether it's one of our bars, whether it's one of our restaurants or even the cigar lounge. I mean, it's such a satisfying feeling for me to build a place where I know that people are either building friendships, maintaining friendships. I mean, that's really where I see the joy. And that's what drives me, honestly.
So you're a little kid out in Long Island.
That's right.
When did it click? When did it click for you that this is what you wanted to do?
Where I grew up, and it's kind of humble beginnings, but I grew up on a pretty poor Indian reservation in New York. And the location of it was a really interesting place.
Shinnecock Indian.
Shinnecock. Shinnecock. So if you're a golfer, then you would know what Shinnecock is. So Shinnecock's probably one of the most difficult golf courses in the world. Always ranked around number 5 in terms of, the challenge of it in the world. And so, and the U.S. Opens have been there several times. But that was named after my tribe. Just a quarter that golf course is just a quarter mile from my reservation.
Wow.
But growing up there, in a pretty poor, I mean, most reservations for the most part, unless tribes are gaming, are pretty poor. They're dealing with pretty rough conditions. But growing up there, just outside of the reservation, is the world famous Hamptons, right? So for me, leaving from the reservation, living in our 2 and 3 generation home, it's very, very pretty typical for families to live 2 or 3 generations under one roof. Leaving that and going to my school, my middle school or my high school, wherever I was attending school, I would pass $10 million, $20 million summer homes.
Summer homes.
So the attitude could be either, wow, we have it rough and it's just the way it's always going to be, or I can take part in trying to change that destiny. Not only for myself and my family, but for my tribal people. So that's really where it started for me. That's where it clicked and said, hey, it's not just about the reservation. There's just so much more. There's so much more. So I wanted to spread my wings. I wanted to get a taste of the business world. The first thing for us, my siblings and our parents were really big on education. College is just an extension of high school. Okay. It's not taking a break. It's not traveling overseas, seeing what you want to do. You're after 12th grade, you're going to be a freshman in college. All right.
That's it.
Maybe you get part of the summer off to relax, but
that's it.
You're going straight to school. And that's what I did. And that even opened up my horizons a little bit more because like you said, you surround yourself with people that you want to be like, or people that you want to be a little bit, I wouldn't say better than, but you want to excel maybe faster than they do. And that's what I did in college. I did the same thing. And it just so happened that me being a Native American from New York became really good friends with a Seminole from Florida. The only 2 Native American kids in 10,000 undergrads.
No kidding.
Yeah. We weren't even in the same class. We met in Spanish class. We weren't even in the same grade.
So how did that happen? I mean, you obviously had that thing in common.
Yeah, we had the Native American culture.
So there's that's a bit of an attraction there. But then how did that develop into what you got going on now?
I mean, honestly, it was just one step at a time. I mean, we became really good friends. And then after we graduated from college, I stayed in DC. I did some consulting work with a business consulting firm. And he gives me a call and he says, hey, my tribe is working on this Hard Rock deal. And I said, well, what does that mean? They're going to build a restaurant? He goes, no, they're going to build a casino in Florida. And I said, wow, well, that sounds pretty amazing. He goes, well, you know, we should do something together. My tribe is very supportive of Native entrepreneurs, and, you know, we should figure this out. It just so happened that when I was in college, I was a nightclub promoter. That was kind of my social activity. That's kind of how I did all my extracurricular spending. So I said, are there any nightclubs? He goes, yeah, there are going to be a few. I said, well, I think that might be something I think that's a deal we could put together. So, long story short, we ended up putting a business plan together. We raised all the money on Wall Street.
No kid.
Private equity. Yeah. Raised all, I mean, I didn't come from anything. You know, I barely had $1 to my name. But raised the money on Wall Street. Wall Street loved the deal. The particular bank that we went to loved the deal. And we raised, I think, in like 90 days, we got probably $4 million. This was in 2003.
So you strike me as you walk in a room, you say, I'm going to need some money. I'm just a kid from Long Island, from an Indian reservation. Yeah. I'm going to need all this money because I'm going to build a club in Florida.
Yeah.
And you got it done.
And we got it done. I mean, you know, not for nothing. It was a very attractive deal. I mean, they raised the money using bonds. Wall Street was well aware that there was a casino going down to Florida. They didn't know the intricacies of it because it was kind of the first time that something like this had been done, but they just knew that the demographics were there. So the bank understood. They looked at the business plan, essentially, that Hard Rock had, and they said, this makes sense. This makes sense for us to get involved in this project.
So the nightclub takes off.
Nightclub takes off.
Well, that leads into restaurants. Fair.
Leads to a car wash next.
Leads a car wash.
So leads to a car wash next. So I have a really bad habit. I don't know if it's a bad habit or a good habit of looking for niches, like things that just make sense, right, within the business community, places where there's voids. And I saw that, you know, there were all these cars coming into the Hard Rock. And I said, wow, a lot of them were just dirty. I said, I wonder how this deal could potentially take place. You know, people come into the casino, they gamble for 2 or 3 hours. It'd be nice to walk out to a nice, clean car.
Right.
So pitched the idea to Hard Rock. They loved it. We put the deal together. We found some partners that were in the business, and we put that deal together. And we had that car wash, I think, from about 2007 to about 2011. The casino needed the parking spaces. So we ended up exiting that deal, but pretty interesting. It was actually pretty fun.
Did you get out there and
of course I did. You got to know everything. You got to know as much as you can about the business, right?
You got to, right?
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things we learned.
I know it's so weird. I know so many people that worked in a car wash or had some sort of a car wash connection. It's almost like it's the cradle of entrepreneurship is the car wash. It's unbelievable.
It is. It's kind of a necessary thing. I mean, it's especially in Florida, right? Because everyone's really into their cars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your auto purchase is a big deal in Florida, you know? So obviously, if you invest that kind of money in a car, especially some of these more high-end cars, you want it clean all the time.
Amazing.
It's a great business.
All right. So then restaurants.
Yep. Then after that, we opened up the Bowl in 2013. That was a firestorm of a business. I mean, wow, how incredible was that? I mean, we basically took a gift shop that was in the front of the casino, 1,500 square feet, pitched the deal to the tribe and told them, hey, we need some really good Asian food around here. And they said, are you sure? And I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. There's a strong Asian demographic here. Asian food typically in casinos and malls do very, very well.
Sure.
So they said, let's do it. So we took the gift shop, we converted it into a restaurant. It was only 50 seats. And man, let me tell you, from the day that we opened up until we recently did an expansion in 2019, but up until then, every weekend, 2-hour wait for 4 hours, practically.
Amazing.
And the matriculation rate was super high. So pretty much everyone that was on the wait list came. They made it into the dining room.
So you were earlier you had mentioned, yes, absolutely. Earlier you had mentioned about sort of being that proud papa, kind of watching your babies grow, these businesses grow. Did you just kind of like wander around the lobby watching those lines get around going, is this really happening?
I just kind of inadvertently kind of pay attention to things, you know, and if you're one of my friends, then you'll know I'm always, if we're going out to dinner, you know, we're going to talk about the business. It's just the way it works. You know, I would have done this differently, or I like how they did that. So I'm always kind of commenting on an operation, even if it's not a restaurant, even if it's a retail store. I always kind of want to understand why they're successful, why they're not successful.
Right.
And then go from there. But yeah, I was walking around the casino and I just saw that every seat, so I'm like, how is every seat in this restaurant, in this casino taken for food? And there's wait lists everywhere. There's something missing. There was definitely the Asian component that was missing. So we wanted to fill that, and it's been
all right. So
amazingly successful.
3 for 3. Now comes cigars.
So cigars was, I got involved in cigars back in 2006, 2007. Mm-hmm. There was a tribal member who had opened up a small shop inside the food court, and she was selling primarily cigarettes because the casino had a need for cigarettes. Right. Obviously. If you smoke, you drink,
it's all part of it.
Exactly. It's all part of it. So, so she had a small cigarette shop, and I knew the general manager of the food court at the time, and he said, you're pretty entrepreneurial. Maybe you should get involved in this and kind of help her to expand the business. So that I did. In terms of the cigarette offering, that was pretty wide. She was doing a great job there, but the cigars she was purchasing from Mike's Cigars back in the day. So that's who was supplying the cigar shop. And there was very, very kind of scarce. There wasn't a lot of good stuff there. So I said, and she had, I think it was like 50% humidors and like 50% cigars. So I said, we gotta expand this cigar selection because what you have is selling, but we gotta expand it a little bit more. So reached out to Altadis, set up a direct account. Susan Henson, who you may know, it was Susan Henson at the time, and Joe Myers. Okay. Sat down with them and they really kind of gave me an intro into the cigar business and kind of what they thought we should carry. Obviously Monte Cristo and Romeo and Juliet. Right. But there were so many other brands that they taught me about as well. And I said, you know what? Now's the time to do this. Set up the accounts with Padron, General Cigars, all the heavy hitters, and it became very successful. We added floor service to the casino. The girls that walk around with the trays are beautiful girls in corsets. And they were an instrumental asset to the business. I mean, they represent a good portion of our sales. So they do what we call slot side and table side service.
So I always ask this question to people because I love the answer. So is that how the cigar came into your life? Because I think what cigars do is that they make us all, we talk about equality and everything like that. Cigars, we're all equal here. You could be you could own the joint and I could clean the joint, but we're having the same cigar.
It's the equalizer, I call it.
Right. And I think so many deals get done because of that. And there's that conversation starter, which I don't know if there's any other business that does that.
Golf might be one.
Yeah.
Golf might be one. I enjoy golf too. And you know what? If you play in public golf courses, you get a tee time. Sometimes they match you up with a perfect stranger.
Right.
And it kind of equalizes because look.
But then there's usually a stick involved.
But usually there's a stick involved. That's true. Which stick came first? I don't know. But when you're out there, it doesn't matter where you come from. You hit a good shot. Man, you're a pretty good golfer. And it just goes from there. Then you start to talk about the game, Right. And everything else doesn't really matter. All the material things, all the other nonsense that we focus so much on sometimes more than we should, doesn't really matter.
Right. Let's talk about this beauty that you got here.
Yeah.
The Davidoff of Geneva. Now, is it Davidoff? Davidoff? How do you say it?
I say Davidoff.
Davidoff.
I say Davidoff.
See, I think Davidoff sounds very like, hey, it's David. Davidoff sounds like, oh.
Yeah, hey, right. Hey. It makes you pop the collar a little bit.
Heavy duty. All right, so this place is amazing. Walk me through it. Tell me about this place. Is this what you envisioned? And tell me what everything happens in this place.
Yeah, this is really, I would say, very, very close to what I envisioned. The cigar shop that I was telling you about earlier became very, very successful. Certain brands were doing better than others. It just made sense. And obviously there was a lot of cigar smokers on the casino floor, mostly concentrated in the high limit area. Okay. Because that area accommodates the higher end gambler and lets them smoke cigars. Some tables don't let them smoke cigars, but that particular room allowed them to smoke cigars. Now they didn't always want to sit there and gamble. So, one thing I noticed is that they were always kind of looking for a place to go where they felt really comfortable. And this is dating back to 2005, 2006,
right.
When this property first opened. So I spoke to the CEO and I said, what makes sense is a cigar lounge. And I think I would like to pursue that if that's an opportunity. He's a great guy, Jim Allen. And he said, you know what, Eric, if that's what makes sense for the property, if that's what makes sense for the tribe, then we can do it. So as they started to put together the drawings and the renderings for this beautiful guitar hotel, I saw a space that was about 2,000 square feet.
Okay.
And so I put together a little proposal. I pitched it to them and they said, yeah, we can make that work. So next job, of course, was to find out what we were going to call it.
Right.
I went to a lot of different manufacturers and ended up with Davidoff because honestly, we do really, really well with their product. We do the Zeno Double Grand. We were the #1 in the country selling that product. One of my favorite cigars, by the way, but we can get into that. And then all the Davidoff Anniversarios. I mean, we just did tremendous amount of sales of those products. And S2 DuPont, the lighters.
Sure.
Wow. What a fine piece, you know? Moved a lot of those. I mean, it was just selling like hotcakes here. So I said, you know, this brand it just makes a lot of sense. It's this hotel is going to be one of one in the US.
All right.
Maybe another one, but I can't get into that.
All right.
But
exclusive. We have breaking news.
Oh yeah, right. I didn't say that. But for now, it's one of one. And you know, Davidoff, how many lounges can you count are in the US?
Yeah, I mean,
less than 10.
Right.
And I like that. I liked, you know, if the guitar is going to be a destination, so should the cigar lounge. So I worked out a deal with Davidoff. I mean, great guys. Every person I've ever dealt with, from Carlos Escalona. I mean, they're terrific. And we worked out a great deal. Brought in a designer from LA. Her name is Chelsea Hermes. Casino recommended her. She's terrific. She's done a lot of high-end products. She came in, we laid the whole thing out, the seating, the bar, the finishes. We worked very closely with a gentleman by the name of Sergio from Davidoff. I think he's out of Geneva. And this just kind of came together. Love the aesthetics of it.
Yes, it's
very comfortable.
What gets me, even like the door handles are different. They have just an upscale to it.
Yeah.
And then you walk in and it literally it's like a friend giving you a hug when you walk in here into this lounge area, because you see we're at a high top table. You've got the bar over here. You've got the lounge chairs over there. It's like the best of all three little worlds combined. You know, the TVs, you can watch the game. You've got the lockers. I guess at the end of the day, it's a relaxing oasis, the way I look at it, from the clanging of the casino. You can just kind of get away for a little bit.
That's actually a terrific way to describe it. I mean, honestly, yeah, there is a little bit of chaos out there, and that's what people love.
That's good.
That's what you come for.
That's what you come here.
That's what you come here for. But when you want to take a break from that, and this speakeasy design,
yes,
I mean, it contributes to it in a great way. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to build this kind of speakeasy type of layout, is because, yeah, it further separates you from the chaos of the casino floor. And it's quite nice in here. When this room is full, I mean, wow. It's really nice just to hear the voices and to hear perfect strangers talking, and, you know, to hear the flick of the torch. I mean, it's really, really nice.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah. Thank you. No, we're very proud of it.
I think what makes entrepreneurs who they are, their DNA, is that it's okay. We've done this. We've accomplished it. This is great. What's next? What's next for you?
You know, really, it's whatever, you know, like I said earlier, I try to find niches. So it's really whatever the market dictates. I really like this market a lot. You know, I like the Fort Lauderdale market. You know, Miami is becoming quite congested. I don't know necessarily that I want to compete in that market, but if the opportunity arises, I'll certainly take a look at it. But I really like Fort Lauderdale. I really, really like Fort Lauderdale. And I think that this casino is going to eventually get bigger as well, and maybe some more concepts inside of here. You know, as you know, the Seminole Tribe just recently signed a compact with the governor.
Yes, I was so happy to see that we're going to get legalized sports gambling.
Legalized sports gambling, yeah. How exciting is that?
That's amazing. Because again, to me, it opens up such possibilities.
Totally agree.
You know, it creates more business, creates more environment, more people come. You know, because, you know, we had to go to Mississippi.
Or the Bahamas.
Yeah. For that stuff. And it's, you know, I don't know. When I go to the Bahamas, I'm not thinking gambling. I'm thinking, you know, but to be able to come here, lay a bet, have a cigar, hit the poker tables. It's all one. So the cigar space, where do you see the cigar industry? As a person who, you know, you're not in the factory churning them out.
No, I'm not. I'm not. And my finger isn't really on the pulse as much as it is, you know.
But from your business, where is cigar still, lounges and stuff? That's still the way to go?
Yeah, I think it definitely is. I mean, from my perspective, I think it's only growing.
Sure.
I think cigar smokers are very social animals, right? And I think as long as there's an environment where they're comfortable, they're treated well, services meets their expectation, the products are there, I think the cigar lounge will survive a very long time.
And flourish, absolutely.
I think it will flourish, absolutely. I definitely look forward to expanding. Whether or not it's with Davidoff, I mean, I hope to. The relationship has been great. Yeah. Not quite sure what their game plan is, but if our plans align, I would love to do something again with them, but another lounge would be great.
Before I let you go, conscientious dude that you are, big into charity work, right? Why is charity so important to you?
Listen, I come from meager beginnings. Right. So, I mean, I could really tell you that we ate government cheese. You know, we had really hard times growing up, And so I know what it's like to be in that position. And I don't think that it's fair that, we enjoy our successes, but I think we have to give back and we have to share those successes with others. If we can't bring others up, then what's it worth? Our organization now has 300 employees.
Wow.
We have about 300 employees, and every single one of those employees matters so much to us. And ensuring that they have to bring a check home to feed their family, to support their day-to-day. We think that's essential. I mean, charity comes in many different forms.
Right.
It comes even in the form of being a great boss, a great entrepreneur, and making sure that when people come into work, they truly enjoy themselves and they feel like they're part of something big. So yeah, I understand the other side of the fence. But I know that everyone has the ability to become successful, whatever that means to them. And if we as entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, can help and give back, then we've done our job, because all this doesn't come without support.
Yeah. Last question for you. What is success for Eric Douglas?
To allude to what I said earlier, it's putting smiles on people's faces inside the spaces that we build. That's success, because I think that the financial aspect will always follow. Mm-hmm. I think you can always, if you create a good product, people will come and they will enjoy it. You have to maintain that product, obviously, but people come and they'll enjoy it. And for me to walk in here on a Saturday night or a Friday night and to see this place full of people smiling and enjoying themselves, or even any of our restaurants, I mean, that's my success.
Yeah.
That's my success.
Well, it's been my success just hanging out with you, man.
Thank you, man. Likewise. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Listen, if you're in the Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood area, Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, it's the Guitar Hotel. It's the hotel that looks like a guitar. Okay. And the fabulous shop, Davidoff of Geneva, Eric Douglas, great for the community, great for you, for the cigar smoker, for the brother and sister of the leaf. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me.